Hi everyone, Helen and I are back for another video. We are home in Newton for our winter break, and this is going to be a combinatorics video. So if you're in that chapter of hard math for elementary school, this is perfect for you. Even if you're not, we think you'll enjoy it. And here's what we're going to do. So we're in the park that we are often in for these videos, if you've seen a few of them before. And we're basically going to be going around these 7 poles, trying to touch each one once. So we have 1, 2, 3 there, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then if we go back, we get back to our original pole. And our idea is that we're going to consider these poles to form a heptagon. And the idea is we're going to try to go between these poles, touching each one only once, and we're going to have various constraints as we go along. The first thing we're going to do, though, is figure out which pole to start with.
To make this process a random process to decide which pole to start with, Kate is gonna spin around in a blindfold with her finger pointed out, and wherever she lands is gonna be where we're gonna start. All right, Kate, you wanna spin? Yep. Stop.
Okay.
All right. That pole is the one we are going to start with.
Okay, we are at the first pole here. Unfortunately, it's kind of started raining, but we're really dedicated to this video, so we're going to continue. And our first constraint is that we want to touch all the poles, all the 7 poles in this heptagon, but we can only walk along the sides of the heptagon. Obviously, these sides are kind of imaginary. They don't really exist, but where the sides would be if this was an actual heptagon.
Go.
Now, you might think that was the only way we could do this with staying along the sides of the heptagon, but that is not the case, because we only went one way around the shape, where we can actually go the other way as well. Did we go clockwise or counterclockwise? What? I don't...
Counter, I think. Yes.
Yes, counterclockwise. So now we're going to try going clockwise. Okay, so for our next constraint, we're going to say that we cannot walk along the sides of the heptagon, and instead we have to basically skip over one pole every time we go around. And we're going to see how many ways there are to do that.
As you can see, that trip took a little bit longer than just going to an adjacent pole, and that's because we kind of had to, go around the group of poles twice, and we had to travel longer distances to each pole.
Hey Helen,
What?
is that the only way to do it, where you skip over every other pole?
That is not the only way, because we went in one direction, but say if I started at this pole and I went to that pole, instead I would be going the other way and I could make a similar trip. So there should be 2 ways to do this.
Great. Okay, now for our final constraint that we have, what we're going to say is that we have to skip over 2 poles at a time. So I can't go to anything that's 2 poles away from me on each trip. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to make our way around and touch every pole again. So, as you can probably imagine, there's another way to do it where we do the same thing of skipping 2 poles, which is I could go around the other way. My question for you, and I want you to take a moment to think about this, is what if we did it skipping 3 poles? Basically, we go to every 4th pole. How would that work? Well, you may have guessed that that would actually be double counting some ways to get around the circle, because if we skip 3 poles, go to every 4th pole when we're going counterclockwise, that's the same as going to every 3rd pole when we're going clockwise. Okay, so for this final one, we're doing something a little bit crazy, which is I'm going to be a bit of a guinea pig here, and we're going to start at our trusty starting pole, and then I'm going to spin around a bunch of times blindfolded, and whichever pole I'm pointing at, we're going to go to that one next, and we're going to keep going. Helen is going to guide me. She's also going to make sure that I don't visit each pole more than once. So basically, like if I'm pointing at a pole I've already been to, then we'll just go to the nearest one to that that I haven't been to. And so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll trip over that big pole that's like in the middle of this thing, but yeah, we'll see.
So we are going to start at our trusty pole, which you go back and step back like 2 steps. Okay, there we go. So that's our starting pole. So do you want to spin around a little? Sure. I'll tell you when to stop. All right, and stop. All right, we shall go to that pole, which I don't think is your adjacent one, but is the next one over. So all right, I will lead you over there. Here, come over here and then reach your hand out.
This hand? Which hand?
This hand. Okay,
oh,
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go. Okay. Now, do you want to step back a little?
Yes.
Spin around. And then you can stop whenever you feel like it. Okay, wonderful. Let's go to this pole now. And there we go.
Yay!
All right,
Okay,
step
we got
back.
3 down.
3 down.
Okay.
You can step back and twirl. And stop whenever you wish. All right. Let's go to this pole. Okay, ready?
Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky. Ready? Lift your foot really high, and then put it. Oh, there we go. There's a big pole. Here. I'll help you over. Oh my gosh. All right, over. There we go. All right. And don't try this at home. Especially on a rainy day like this when the poles are slippery. Okay.
And there we
Yay.
go. All right.
Okay, 4 down. 3 to go.
4 down, 3 to go.
Okay, ready?
Spin around. All right, let's go this way. Surprisingly, you have not pointed to a pole that has already been repeated.
Oh,
this
really?
Is
I was
excellent.
wondering that if you had to do a lot of rerouting. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
Yeah,
okay.
there we go. All right, now twirl around.
Wait,
that was
5 poles,
That was
right?
5 poles.
Okay, only 2 more.
All right, let's go. Do you know where we are?
No idea.
Really?
No clue.
You have not pointed to a single pole
No,
that
I
has been
cannot see
repeated.
anything.
All right.
Really? Okay.
And
All
then
right,
let's
last.
talk about that. Kate's phone died, so she's gonna spin around, and we're gonna go to our last pole. And stop whenever you like. Oh, this is the first time she's pointing at nowhere, so let's go to the last pole.
Okay.
All right, we gotta step over this pole again. So, ready? Okay, take 1 more step forward. Okay, and then. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was a big step.
And walk forward. There we go.
Yay!
Wonderful.
So finally, let's think about this problem as if we had no constraints. So all we had to do was touch all of the trees in some order. We're not going to touch any of them twice, but it doesn't matter the order that we pick. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the heptagon. Well, for our first tree, let's just say we have 1 choice, because we do know that we're going to have to start with that first tree that we're at. If we could start with any tree, then we could put a 7 there, obviously. For our second choice, we can go to any of the 6 ones that we haven't already touched. For the third, we can go to any of the 5 ones that we haven't already touched. I think you can see how this is going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, of course, to find the total number of possibilities, we could multiply this all together. So let's try to think of a quick way to multiply these together. Well, the 1s already cancel, so we don't need to pay attention to those. We have 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. I know that 6 times 5 is 30. And 4 times 3 times 2 is 4 times 6, which is 24. 30 times 24 is the same as 3 times 24 with a 0 at the end. So this is equal to 720. So we had 720 possibilities. I'm very happy that Helen and I did not try to reach all these possibilities. Right. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully I'll be making some more videos soon. All right, bye.